Alright, testing, testing. Okay, I decided to make this video and shockingly play Phantasy Star Online 2 to make this rant. In case the audio doesn't work. Okay, decided to make this Phantasy Star rant video because it was definitely something that I had pinpointed in the past about the problem with Phantasy Star. Now, you could probably break down Phantasy Star into 4 categories of how a person can have fun when it comes to, I guess we want to say specifically like character growth and stuff like that. Even though like combat, fashion, social, just talking to people, which I know is hard for some people, and then finally creation, which is the creative space. But we're gonna kind of go in between and talk about just the combat, because how else does one enjoy combat by getting stronger and stuff like that, or reaching certain criteria? You know, as much as the game might have ticked people off when it came to reaching battle powers and stuff like that, it was definitely something that was important. It may not have been illustrated important enough. Don't get me wrong, they probably didn't illustrate it wrong, and I definitely didn't understand the growth thing when it came to base PSO, but I was still enjoying myself, because back then I didn't have something to compare myself to. This whole battle, it's the free gear. Let's just talk about it for a second. Which is something you get all the way at 65. Which is insane thinking about it. You get all this free gear. LC stuff too. Like, could you imagine that? How well it stacks you? Like, you don't even have to... And it's not like you could get all the stuff you need in a couple of runs of the Lucille. A couple of runs. These augments aren't hard to get. The triple would have to be replaced by something else, but that's about it. Because you really wanted power, you kind of had to focus on something to an extent, or pay a lot of money. I didn't mind sacrificing, whatchamacallit. I didn't mind sacrificing like melee or range just to get higher technique potency and stuff like that. That stuff was kind of easy to understand. But to a lot of people, it's not. I mean, I guess to illustrate it, I guess we're just gonna have to, or better yet, maybe they don't need to understand it, because there's free armor stuff. Truthfully, because everyone who's at above 65 is going to have a pretty good idea of what to do. Or those who have been actually looking at the videos are going to realize, well, I just won't upgrade anything. I won't upgrade anything. I'll keep getting free stuff at certain intervals of my levels and then reach 65, and that's pretty much it. Right? Isn't that how that goes? The game will just give me the content I needed. And let's see. And we're gonna have to travel back in time just a little bit.
Welcome.
And hopefully this works, by the way.
Hi there.
I wanna say Ajax. Armor. How many augments would it have? Let's say like 4-ish or something like that. I feel like it had 6 augments, but could be wrong. That kinda looks about right. Okay, we probably have to go back one more additional... Whoa, what armor was this? We might have to go a little bit further back to even illustrate our point. Let's see. So, possibly 6-star armor. Is that right? Maybe it was 70. Nah, I want to go back. Okay, I think this is it right here. Back in the good old days, this was something that was very common. Seeing armor like this. Was it always at 61? I'm not entirely sure, but it was like... It was something like this. You know, you didn't have that LC, and granted LC didn't exist back then, and while LC is a very nice augment to have, just so you can have it, sure it wasn't as great as the others and stuff like that, and it'd be nice if they keep making more LC versions of it too, for any excuse to go to the seal, but they don't have that anymore. But this used to be common, and this sort of thing was only acquired through, well, it can be acquired through seasonal events. It was loaded up to like 60 or something like that. You still had to upgrade it, I think, a little bit, by like 1 point just to get the extra slot in there. I believe that it would be at 60 and then you upgrade to 61. But I think someone had to put a little effort into it. And things were good. And this was, and granted, this is the price you would get after the season ends. Then the price might spike up and stuff. Like, that was it. Like, I'm not really sure how they're going to do another seasonal event with free stuff, because it's going to be kind of hard to, like, push people out of there, but I guess they're going to have to keep getting stronger. And I understand the game has to keep getting increasingly stronger and stronger and stronger, but there are just certain things that, you know, like power scaling, you know. Like, maybe not include the LC augments at all when giving us, and I use that term loosely, allowing us to acquire powerful armor through seasonal points. That sort of thing. It leaves room for growth. It doesn't make this shift between you working on brand new armor while working on this older armor so, like, such a range, you know? It's like a, what could be a 2-step process to getting significantly stronger from a 4 to 6-step process. Like, I gotta go through all these steps just to make my armor, you know, slightly better. It's ridiculous. You know, really ridiculous. And now a lot of people are just not gonna know about it. Like, I kinda don't really have any reason to just make any more armors or weapons and stuff. I mean, sure, there is still going to the player shop and getting the last season's seasonal weapons, which would be the only upgrade, and lo and behold, even that thing is, and I may not know what it is, but I can pretty much guess what it might be. Not that. We'll remove this. We'll just say weapons, and we'll just say it's at 90 by now. That's at a 9-star, I guess. Do they have one for a 10-star, I wonder? No, that's too much. Seasonal weapons, and even has a little seasonal augment in it and such. Like, that's that, you know? They could have avoided putting LC augments on these things. Like, keep the LC augments for something that's easy. And then, granted, it is easily obtained, by the way. It is easily obtained, and I think you can't really sell these, but you can sell them if they're already on an armor or something like that. You know, make the players work for it. I get they still had to go through the trouble of farming seasonal points and stuff like that, but have these players work for it, you know. And for the people that don't stick around, you know, well, that's tough tomatoes. Or better yet, ask for some damn help or something like that, you know, because you don't really need anything. And the combat aspect is just ruined by the payoff, you know. We do combat just so we can get better at said combat, but we also kind of sort of need like numbers to go a little higher and stuff like that, because it's kind of important. And we still want some effort, and we kind of want to see some differentiations between players and stuff, because the players back in the old days up and now, everyone's just kind of the same, you know. I am probably no different from other cheese balls, you know. Like I said, the only other meaningful upgrade a person should have to make is this right here. You could probably get that kind of money in just like, what, 30 minutes? And I think I timed it one time when it was just doing a quick daily. Doing your dailies, knowing where all the items that people hide to sell stuff. Going to each region, and let's see what else. Taking care of your dailies. And that's pretty much it. You know, you get enough money to get something like this. Or maybe two, if it peaks at this number right here. But it's super simple and easy. It's just kinda unfortunate. And kinda boring. And I kinda don't like the idea whatsoever. Like, you're seriously telling me that all the work is done for me. And all I had to do was reach was level 65. Because you can't trust the player to learn how to upgrade themselves. You couldn't just use simpler terms whatsoever. Hell, you couldn't just change the whole potency to power, right? Wouldn't that make more sense? Replace the word potency with just power. Everyone understands what power is. Power. Power. I mean, PP can pretty much anyone can understand that, because you look at your HUD and it's like, oh, that's what PP is. Floor potency, you probably need to have a better name for that sort of thing, really. Just a better name. Maybe damage range. Yeah, damage range. Or damage floor, or something like that. Or power seal. Or power scaling. That would work, actually. Yeah, you could say power scaling. Or power range. It would have to be power range. No, actually, no. I take that back. Let's just call it accuracy. Yeah. Because actually, that kind of dictates about if you hit the nail on the head. Just flat out call it. Most people have a general good idea about what accuracy is. That if you're 100% accurate, you do 100% damage and stuff, and anything less, you're just not going to hit your mark, and it probably won't hit as hard. Yeah, flat out call it accuracy. It's a very easy word to look up that even a dictionary can look it up, in my honest opinion. You might be thinking you can't compare floor potency. No, you just gotta use simpler terms, that's all. Let's see. What else are we missing? There's another augment I want to look at.
Bye-bye.
I'll just look at some of my augments real quick. Let's see. Old equipment. What is this origin unit? Don't care. We gotta go into my inventory. Something. Where are you at? Come on. Something. Oh boy. And that was the last generation weapon, by the way, to Argenti weapons. Maybe I got rid of all the old stuff. I thought reroll codes were amazing, by the way, too. Let's see. I hate to look up for the Pacific augment, because that's probably what I'm going to have to do. To illustrate my point. Okay, right about here. Now, I guess it sorta explains about, like, what it increases well enough. I mean, who doesn't know what melee is? But honestly, I would still change the word from potency to power. That would just be my, guess. Range potency, which I know, I mean, we hope that people won't think too hard about this. Like, how much damage I can do from a range, right? But we do have to be careful about those overthinkers. I mean, I would just flat out say gun weapon power. Because let's see, a lot of the ranged weapons are guns. And yes, I know we have the gun blade and stuff like that, and well, you could go based on color. I mean, the color is either red, blue, and yellow, right? But then they'd be like, what's yellow? What's blue? What's that? Because when you say melee, most people just assume it's close range, or with knuckles and stuff like that. Like, you want to really make it, like, self-explanatory. Because, of course, the person would be like, well, I'm using melee for my Slayer class, so maybe that'll increase that. You know, I'll come back to that in a second. That's probably a way to, deal with something like that. That means what? This has the same problem too, right? Technique weapon potency. Because the person has to understand the classification of said weapon, right? Maybe replace the word weapon with the color associated with it. Just melee red. Yeah, melee red, range blue, and technique yellow power. Just make it absolutely sure a person understands, or get it close, get it as close as possible of what all this stuff means. But I guess I shouldn't be so mad at the LC augments because of all of the, what they give you. They are great augments. Wish they could, be more, upgraded to an extent. So, maybe, they'd be more sought after. So people could just have some degree of completion. But at the same time, they shouldn't be given free to an armor that's already completely maxed out and completely, well, kills the mood of anyone actually want to go out and do anything, really. Like, there's this other stuff. Obviously, there's other stronger weapons out there, but who on earth is going to spend that kind of time when you already have this kind of power already? And, well, we only have very few stuff that's locked behind content. And I've done, like, whatchamacallit, Dark Falls, Souls, and, let's see, the second Dark Falls Aegis. And we don't count Dark Falls, the first Dark Falls round 2 or something, because that was like, well, I think I have a video of that long ago, but it was still nuts that we actually took care of it. But I think I remember being disappointed because, well, there really wasn't anything, like, worthwhile in there. Like, I don't remember ever getting anything worthwhile from any of those fights. But hey, that's just the rare stuff, right? I mean, the only meaningful boss that was worth fighting, and granted this video is about the free stuff, is Darkfall Aegis, which had really nice weapons. Some you can buy and something you can earn. The one you can earn on your own was more powerful, you know, at the end of the day. And the one you could buy was quicker to an extent. Which sounds fair to me.
Welcome.
Because some of us didn't have that kind of time in the world. It's just that Phantasy Star is just kind of messing up. You know, I know it sounds awful to take a step back and just take away all the free armor. But that's kind of what needs to happen. Because you're already going down a path that really has I mean, all paths will definitely eventually end to a dead end, don't get me wrong. But there are still better paths. It's just you have to back up in order to take those paths. Because we don't know how long it'll be before you get so far and you find an alternate path. And would there be a reason to go to alternate path? Not really. You'd just be stuck here wondering, well, I'm done already. In fact, we'll check this monster girl out real quick. Because truthfully, she doesn't have any reason to upgrade. Hell, even though Mastery is probably the very easiest to switch out, by the way. And I mean super easy. And I think there's a new technique, by the way. Let's see. They're a melee person. And I'll highlight something I'm talking about, by the way. That would be hard to replace. That would be hard to replace. It's replaceable, but it takes a little bit of effort. This is easily replaceable. This is easily replaceable. And yes, I know it does have that strong floor potency, by the way. I get it. 5 is a big number. Even though that number is divided by half, by the way, which is another obnoxious thing. And Mastery is super duper replaceable by its actual version of it, which I'm sure people pick up all the time like candy. Let's see, another random person, because that's all you're gonna see, by the way. You'll see very few people who actually put effort into their armor that have already upgraded the new stuff. Alright, being at his level, there's probably no way he was gonna ever be. Actually, let's see. I'm in an alliance at the moment. We'll just spy on one of my alliance members. I got some salon. They're both in Elio 5. Hopefully they're not doing anything combat-wise. They're probably just sitting in the city somewhere, just chilling, waiting for something to pop off. Alright, the urgent quests, which are timed events. Nothing running about the urgent quests, they always happen in a certain time. But what's your opinion about the free gear in Phantasy Star? Do you think it was a big mistake? Was it just something that you needed because you never figured out how to deal with Phantasy Star's complicated armor system? Because as much as I didn't really like the idea of selling stuff, but, you know, selling stuff and making money, that's understandable. I mean, it did kind of allow me to break the game in some aspects. Because, you know, if you knew about the seasonal stuff, and could get a decent amount of money, which could take an hour at best, you'd be already set up and ready to go. Be done. Like, alright, cool. I can use this to fight certain battles I couldn't do before, and then upgrade and stuff. Because when I think about it, back then, when I was showing those other armors, the maximum was 70 or something like that. Like, maybe it shouldn't just be at the maximum. Like, they definitely need some type of nerf. But a nerf would also imply they still need to exist. It just needs to disappear. Now, while that might piss off a lot of players, you know, removing armor entirely and having to... And let's think about it. Even if they removed the armor and gave like a month's warning that we're going to remove the armor, because we want players to actually learn how to do stuff, you could easily just, actually, that wouldn't be too bad, actually. People going in a rush and having stuff... Like, could you imagine that? Like, it just malfunctions, making some sort of plot about, oh, the armor's going to malfunction, it's not going to work anymore. So you have a whole month to, like, fix your armor. I mean, for a lot of people, that's an easy fix, because that's just going to the player shop, buying a bunch of armors, or for other people, selling their armors for, like, some cash and stuff. Which, I guess you can't really sell this for cash, you just have to buy something else close to it. and stuff like that. Like, that would be interesting. Oh my gosh, that would be such interesting. People willing to play the game because the freebie we got some time ago is being taken away from us and stuff. And who would complain, right? Who would actually complain about the stuff? I mean, the people who already have the gear might pretend to complain for them. Because, you know, I'm complaining for myself, by the way. Some people are probably genuinely okay with just skipping the combat, really. Because the most fun the person will probably have through the game is going through the story. And, of course, it costs them money to redo the story over and over and over again. Per character. And stuff like that. Because I haven't really completed the story. I mean, sure, I met Zepeto and stuff. But that's about it, really. The game just isn't what it used to be. I feel like earning stuff. And I feel like, and I get a laugh when I start seeing people with randomly, vastly different armor from each other. And I mean vastly different. Like, oh man, this guy has no idea how to upgrade his armor for nothing. Stuff like that. You know, that sort of thing. Because, you know, you still have to go and buy the augments, by the way. Actually, finding the augments was definitely something I don't think I've ever remember actually doing too often back in the day. You had to buy the augments, I think. I mean, there might have been some stuff like them Giga Stats that you had to go to the purple triggers, but that's about it. But not everyone could get to the purple triggers because that was quite unique, like a huge power increase to get through all the triggers.
Thanks for stopping by.
Which, could I even do a purple trigger, in all honesty? Don't know if I could do an actual purple trigger at my current... Well, if I went to go and maximize my level. Actually, do I have an item that just increases my... I should have something. Nah, it'll come back to me later. Anyway, I think that's the end of the video. It's almost about 30 minutes, and 30 minutes of rambling would have been enough time to take care of my dailies, take care of the collectibles off of the ground, and maybe one quick urgent quest. And when I say a quick urgent quest, I mean like a low-level urgent quest that would have just got a nice payout, or just check the box in the game to where, oh, you completed it and stuff like that. So that would mean either the lowest level of Dark Falls, Interception, or one of those defense missions. You just AFK and just stand there and just let it complete itself. You have a little payout, but at least your time wouldn't have been wasted. It wastes about maybe 2 to 3 minutes, depending on how bad the mobs are. In which case, you could do a high rank one, because the mobs are not going to go after you anyway. They're going to go after those things and blow them up. And that's pretty much it. But let's see, I got about a minute left. So, the free armor there needs to be some sort of warning that takes away the free armor that people have acquired, so people can be ready for a switcheroo. And they should make this into a constant day so people are actually hyperactive when it comes to playing the game and stuff. They have to make that decision of, oh, do I want to keep playing the game or not? You know. And this sort of thing happens in relationships too, by the way. At some point, you're just going to have to take away all the free stuff that you've given to the player. And when I say all the free stuff, I mean specifically the free armors and free weapons. You just need to take that away and warn them that in a month's time that we're going to take away, or something like that. It could happen like before or during a seasonal event and stuff like that. It should be totally fine. And just warn the player that we're going to take it away. And you have a month, and if you don't read about it a month, your armor is just not going to work. It's going to just be malfunctioning for some odd reason, you know, for plot reasons, and then you'll be stuck with crappy armor that you'll be getting from, well, maybe not entirely crappy armor from the player's shop. Just grind a bunch of money and play the game. That's what it will do. Alright, take care, everyone. If you got any questions, definitely drop by your opinions, even if they're bad ones. I like all interactions. Bye.